Buddy, welcome to my live stream. This is a Monday afternoon, I guess early evening for some of you, mid-evening for some of you, middle of the night for some of you as well. Glad that you are here with me to unbox some new Epic collections. Um, Saying hi to a few friends here. Rascal Wolf, hi. Ryan's here as well. Um, all of these people, some of these people I don't know, some of these people I do. Um, but it's great to see everybody here. I've got two boxes today, two boxes of Epic collections. And if you were part of the live stream, the Epic collection announcement live stream that on near mint condition the other day, I opened up one of these boxes already, but I have taped it up so that I can actually unbox it here for all of you because I know it's this we gotta do it here, you know? That's right. Just before we get started, let's see. I have an overlay I want to show you here. Um, how many of you people have been buying the Atlas Comics library that Fantagraphics has been uh, publishing? They have two volumes out, and the third volume I think is coming out pretty soon. But now they've announced the sixth one, Shiver as You Read. Pulp horror classics from the 1950s, Revenge, Ghosts, Locked Rooms, Killer Ants, taken from early Marvel Comics series Men's Adventures and Amazing Detective Cases. You can see at the bottom it's Amazing Detective Cases 11 to 14 and Men's Adventures numbers 21 to 26. Now, it was common practice back in the 50s that titles would change names, but they would keep the numbering going, and this had to do something with postage rates, uh, applying for different postage rates or something like that in the 1950s. So, and this was the case. Like EC Comics did this all the time. Comic wasn't doing too well, so they want to change the focus, and so they change it from weird science to tales of from the crypt or whatever, something like that. But they keep the numbering going so they can keep the subscriptions and all of that kind of stuff going. And I don't know if that's the case here, but that could be the case. Amazing Detective Cases number 11 could actually be the first issue of Amazing Detective Cases. Maybe someone in the chat knows. Phil's here. Estonia. Some people from Estonia. 1 a.m. for Partworks comic reader. Late night for you. That's great. Well, I won't keep you up too late. How do I make this overlay? Oh, and I have another overlay I want to show you as well. This one here, Lost Marvels, also from Fantagraphics. So they've got the license to to reprint stuff that Marvel doesn't care about, basically. Because if Marvel cared about it, they'd keep it for themselves and they'd make their own omnibus or whatever. But we know that they don't really care about the horror anthology books. We never see those collections. It's all superheroes. And if it can't be branded with a superhero name, it doesn't usually get collected. So we have Lost Marvels Volume 1, Tower of Shadows. And this is 1969, it says, with its revolutionary superhero line well established, Marvel took the chance on the kind of supernatural EC style anthology series that had been banned since the formation of the Comic Code in the 1950s. And this is because the comic code was loosening up around this time as well. So look at all of these names on here: Neil Adams, Jim Steranko, Barry Windsor Smith, John Buscema, Gene Colan, Wally Wood, Stan Lee, Roy Thomas, John Romita, Johnny Craig, Marie Severin, Jerry Conway, and Bernie Wrightson. That is a killer lineup right there. Absolutely amazing. So I'm really looking forward to Lost Marvels. It's coming out in March. And I hope this is volume one of a long series of titles of comics that Marvel just doesn't care about anymore. I think it's going to be super exciting. And I hope all of you are excited about that too. You won't find it in Epic collections because they will just not, Marvel doesn't care. Marvel doesn't care about those particular ones. Okay. Phil says Amazing Detectives ran from issues 3 to 14. The first two issues were pulp magazines. So, okay, I don't know why issues 3 to 10 are not going to be in this collection. Um, maybe they don't have copies to scan from, or maybe they're all reprints from older comics. I'm not sure. I'd have to do some research. It probably says in the introduction to that book because, based on the introductions to the first two volumes of this series, they are really, really great information, great introductions, packed full with amazing information. Definitely buying both of those books. Yeah, very curious about Towers of Shadows volume. Yeah, this is it's going to be really good. Looking for that. I'm looking forward to that too. Okay, let's unbox. Do Marvel not see any profit in reprinting these non-superhero titles, and that's why they don't care about them? I think that is. I think that for them, uh, if they're going to reprint the old stuff, they need to restore it. Basically, they need to bring it up to the same standards as their masterworks and all of that kind of stuff, because they don't settle for just scanning their comics and you can see the all of the dot patterns of the different the different colored screens. Marvel doesn't like that. They need theirs to look a little bit flashier. Fantagraphics, however, is totally fine with doing a base level restoration on scans to keep the authenticity of the comic page and the printing quality of the 1950s and 1960s. And that's something that Marvel doesn't do. So the process that Marvel does for the restorations costs a lot of money. So they're not going to do it on the stuff that's going to yield lower sales. Fantagraphics is also a smaller publisher that deals with indie books, and their threshold for sales is a lot lower than Marvel's is. So yes, even though maybe this wouldn't make the amount of sales that Marvel would want, it's totally fine for Fantagraphics. And Marvel does make some money. It's getting dark out here. Marvel does make some money because Fantagraphics has to pay them a licensing fee, and I'm sure they get some sort of royalty deal in there as well. I don't know what the deal is, but Marvel will make some money off of it without having to do any work. So there you go. Okay, shall we open this up? This is the box that I've already opened, that I opened on the near mint condition Epic Collection live stream the other day. And whoops, got to do this one too. I retaped it because I wanted to open it up in front of all of you. We have two Epic Collections in this box. I wonder what they could be. One is The Incredible Hulk Collection Volume 15, Ground Zero. This is the very first Hulk, 1987. The Incredible Hulk 331 to 436. And the Marvel graphic novel, The Incredible Hulk and the Thing, The Big Change, which is Jim Starlin and Bernie Wrightson. This one is already in an Epic collection. I think it's in The More Things Change. I think that volume. But it's a great story. It's got some really nice painted artwork here, painted pages, and lots of action. And it's actually a funny book. There's a lot of satire in here, and which is Jim Starlin does a lot of that in his work. He likes to play with making fun of things. It's smashing time. Oh boy, good stuff. And then, oh, there's a good comment here. Issues 11 to 14 were horror stories, and the early issues were all police detective stories. Okay, so they're taking all of the horror stories from that series. We're talking about the Atlas Comics thing that we were talking about earlier. I'm sure they'll save then issues 3 to 10 for a police-centric volume. Is the Wolverine rematch in here? I think it is. There. These early Todd McFarlane issues are interesting because he didn't really play with a whole lot of spot black shadows. I mean, look at Wolverine. Usually we'd see a lot of shadows in there, but Todd did not do that. all the time. He did it sometimes, but that his style was quite different. And because it was so different, people really noticed it. He's put a lot of detail into it, into his line work. This stuff, of course, has been reprinted many times in the past. It's been in the old Hulk Visionaries or Hulk Legends. I can't remember a series of thin trades that collected Peter David's run, or at least some of it. And it's been in Omnibus, and now we are in. I think is it coming to Masterworks soon because they're in the late '80s now, right? Yeah, this is Gray Hulk era when he gets reverted back to the Gray Hulk form. And what this is not. Let's see. What's the first issue? I think the first issue might be a fill-in. Oh no, it's Peter David. Peter David and Todd McFarlane right off the bat. There you go. Um, yes, Gabriel. What do you want? Have to get back to work. See you later, Steve. Thanks for joining us for a little bit of the time. This features Half-Life, who was in the 2003 Hulk movie game. Wow, there's a deep cut for you right there. The stories in this epic were among the first Hulk stories I read. Wonderful, that's great. I've read only like one or two. Yeah, Visionaries. That's right, the Hulk Visionaries, Peter David. I've read one or two issues of this. Was never a Hulk collector as a kid, but I came across a few of them, and they were fine, but they never really got me. But I've read some of Peter David's later run, thanks to the Epic collections now, and it's great stuff. So I'm happy to be looping back to the beginning now to discover Peter David's run from the get go. Okay, second Epic, and then after this, there's another box. We have Aliens, the Original Years, Volume 2. The first volume came out last year, and I loved it. It was so good. This is collecting the early Dark Horse Aliens miniseries. I'm going to read you the titles of the miniseries that are in here, and you tell me if any are good, because I haven't read any of them. Aliens Genocide, Aliens Hive, Aliens Tribes, Aliens Newt's Tale, and material from Dark Horse Insider 14 to 27. And Dark Horse presents the 5th anniversary special, and Dark Horse presents number 56. So that is a lot of Aliens content. There's one, two, three, four, maybe four miniseries or so in there. And uh, I just loved the first volume. I thought it was so good. And so looking forward to reading this one as well. Some black and white art from Marvel or from Dark Horse Presents, I think. And the unmistakable art of Simon Bisley. So cool. He's just so great with creatures and mutants and all of that kind of stuff. So I think he fits into the aliens world really well. Um, I don't know who a lot of these other artists are. Does it say at the beginning here? I'm sure it does. Kelly Jones is in there. A lot of names that I'm not as familiar with, which is pretty standard for Dark Horse. They tried out a lot of people in those early days. Um, yeah, let's take a look inside a little bit more. Look at all those xenomorphs. They look like they're like being herded like cattle or gazelles or something. That's Kelly Jones right there. That looks pretty good. I love it. So I think how many Omnis? Oh yeah, there's a prose story in here as well. Gonna That's unusual for an epic collection to include a prose story, but it's part of the Dark Horse material. Looking forward to that. I'll give it a read for sure. In fact, I got a trip coming up tomorrow. I might read it on the airplane. I'm heading to Comic-Con. Anybody else heading to Comic-Con San Diego this weekend? Nice cover. I love that. Look at that. Really good. I tell you, I'm really, really looking forward to reading this. And let's see, when do they come out? Let's get some dates on here. Should have pulled up my handy chart ahead of time. Aliens 2. These are both coming out the same week, and it is August 20. August 20. There you go. Sorry for being late. I was watching your live with Omar about the epic releases for February and March. After this, I will return to that. Yes, The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 11 coming out February. That's pretty good, hey? So I haven't read any of the Dark Horse stuff aside from the first epic, but kind of know the stories from reading the novelizations back in the 90s, long enough ago that those are half remembered. Well, I think that you will like it. Colors look a bit washed out. Are they supposed to look like that? I think depending on the story you're talking about, if it's this one, then yes, they are supposed to be washed out. That was a very stylistic thing at the time. Um, not all of the colors in this book look washed out. Some of them are very, very vibrant. So it's very much indicative of what the content looked like in the beginning. And this was a lot of Dark Horse. Their coloring in general was a lot like this in those early days of Dark Horse. Isn't that an amazing splash page? Let me get rid of that comment here. Look at that. Isn't that great? So cool. Uh, okay, for the second box. Not a word about the final two Cap epics. You mean in the February and March streams? Yeah, that's just because it's February and March. Cap will be back later on in the year. I'm sure of it. So we don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about them not finishing that. Uh, at least one of them is going to come in 2025. Oh, I saw that comment already. Okay, let's open this up. See what is inside. So if those ones were the 20th of August, then these are going to be the 27th of August. The final epics of August. We've got the Venom Epic Collection, Volume 7. So this is the end of Venom's ongoing series from the 90s. And I say ongoing series, but it was an ongoing series of mini series. Instead of running them 1 to 120 or whatever, they just rebooted the numbering after every 3-issue story arc. So this one collects Venom the Hunger, Venom Tooth and Claw, which is already in a Wolverine Epic collection, Venom on Trial, Venom License to Kill, Venom Seed of Darkness -1, Venom Sign of the Boss, Spider-Man the Venom Agenda, and Venom Finale 1 to 3. So, you want to see the spine? There's the spine. Hey, Phil, not funny. Phil doesn't like Venom. But hang on, Phil, because I've got something that you're really going to want to see in just a second. So hang on. Let's just get through this. Bear with me, and then we'll get to something a little bit better. Okay. So let's see here. This is the 90s, everybody, and not just the 90s. This is 1996 to 1998. So we are going heavy into the computer age and the extreme age, the full bleed age, where people were still kind of figuring out a little bit how to use full bleed pages. I do like that cover. It's a homage to one of those old Spider-Man issues. I can't remember which one though. This is the Venom series started off fairly, quote unquote normal with fatal attractions. I mean, not fatal attractions, lethal protector going to um, San Francisco fighting bad guys, whatever, whatever. And then it kind of gets more and more nuts as the series goes along, and the symbiotes go a little crazy. And I don't know, Eddie Brock has a wife at some point, and or something like that. There's Carnage. He's in this one, of course. Why wouldn't he be? And we saw Wolverine a little bit back there. Um, I collected Venom back in the day, back in these days, but I had fallen off by this point. So I had random issues here and there. Fan art, Venom fan art. Let's see. David O'Keefe, Chris Alexander, Michael Schoenhaus, and Nathan Duvall. I wonder if any of those people are in the Epic Collection group. Is this your artwork? Any of you? We should look them up. We should look them up on Facebook and see if they're still around and see if they're artists now. Some of these are not too bad for 8-year-olds, you know? So yeah. Uh oh man. So this is just oh man, more art. There's a lot of Venom fan art. That's amazing. Yeah. It'd be great. We should totally look up these names and see if any of them are still around and drawing, because that is hilarious. Oh, there's so much more. Okay, we'll leave it for now. Um, Lots of bonus features. Ralph Macchio does a nice little thing, a little introduction there. There's just so much art. Okay, final book. Namor the Submariner, Titans 3. Volume 4 of the Namor Submariner Epic Collections. This is 1970 to 1972. Classic. These two face off all the time because of, fire and water, but also because they're two, even though Submariner Human Torch isn't the same guy as the Golden Age guy, they're both kind of Golden Age icons. That's a great cover, hey. Stingray. Right there on the cover. A beautiful cover. Prime Sal Buscema. Bronze Age Namor is the best Namor. Yeah, this is gonna be great. Roy Thomas, Jerry Conway, Gene Colan. Let's take a look inside. This is really nice. And we have let's see here. Fear is the Hunter. Stan Lee, Roy Thomas, Sal Buscema. I really don't know anything about this era of Namor because I've read a lot of the Silver Age stuff. In fact, all of the Silver Age stuff, but this was never accessible. I never saw it in back issue bins, at least where I am. And then um, it's never really been reprinted except for expensive masterworks. So I'm excited to read this stuff because I love the early 70s Marvel. This is going to be really, really great. So this is volume 4. Previously, we had volume 1, and then we had volume 3. We didn't have volume 2. We went right to volume 4. There's the Defenders right up there for you. So I'm not exactly sure um, I'm not exactly sure when they're going to do volume 3. And will they like jump ahead maybe at some point to the 70s? Oh man, look at this. Beautiful stuff. Nice open spaces, great use of action, great use of negative space. That's because this is Gene Colan, everybody, because he's amazing. His work just stands out so much. Look at that. Looks so good. Looks like he does a lot of this book. Gene Colan was the guy who started Submariner in his solo title. He was using a pen name at the time, but that's where he kind of made his splash. His splash. I made a pun and didn't even mean to. Um, and then he left for a little while. Now he's back, so that's pretty cool. There we go. Human Torch. Come on, focus, camera. Tiger Shark. I kind of think that this logo should have been on the front cover because I know that that other logo is still in this book here, but I kind of like the other logo, this one. I'm sure that volume 5 will have this logo on the cover. Anyway, lots of Gene Colan in here. Oh, what? What is Doctor Doom fighting MODOK for? And Namor's nowhere to be seen. That is going to be wild. It's going to be so good. Oh, yeah. I'm a little behind, sorry. Is the Hulk epic the first part of Peter David's Hulk? Yes, it is. This is the very first Peter David Hulk volume. Man, I'd love it if the next Namor epic collects the 90s stuff. I had a few random issues of John Byrne's run, and it was pretty enjoyable. They'll get to it eventually. Not everybody likes that run, right, Phil? Not everyone is a fan of Jay Lee's art. Um, but yeah, it would be great to have it all. I picked up the Namor and Golden Age Torch Saga Thickie. The Namor book was 12 issues long, doing 12 issues, doing a condensed retelling of the Submariner's history up to that point, and 4 issues for Torch. I think um, that will hopefully be included in an epic collection at some point. I don't know where the Torch stuff, the Human Torch stuff, would be in an epic collection, but that Saga of Namor would definitely be in one of these volumes. Yeah. But there we go. This is a really good cross section of epic collections. These 4 books here. Um, this is the 70s. This is the 90s. This is the 80s. And then this Aliens is the licensed stuff. So it's like that's a very good representation of epic collections right there. Just don't have anything from the 60s because we've pretty much covered all of our 60s content. There we are. Yeah. 4 epic collections coming out at the end of August. And they are all going to be really great. I think hopefully they'll all be good sellers. I really am hoping that Namor will be a good seller so that they'll continue to make more of those. Speaking of Jay Lee, I'm surprised there haven't been Inhumans epics yet. Yeah. Marvel's really cooled to the Inhumans lately, ever since the failed TV show. But hopefully they'll, after they give it some time, they'll bring those characters back and give us some epic collections. That'd be great. 2 classic ones, maybe even 3 classic ones. And I think the Jay Lee series with, I think it's, was it Dan Jurgens writing that one? That will be the start of the modern era for Inhumans. That would be my guess. Modern era Inhumans epic collection. I guess, yeah, the only thing missing in this batch is the modern representation. So Yeah. Wow. Well, I think I said this before, but I'll say it again. I'm heading to Comic-Con this weekend, so if any of you are also going to Comic-Con, stop by the Clover Press booth. That's where I'll be hanging out a lot of the time, helping helping out the people there as try to sell a lot of books that we're making. If you come by, I'll shake your hand and we will maybe take a selfie. And I don't think I'll have any there might be some free stuff there, I don't know. But anyway, if you're there, look me up. I'd love to see you, love to meet you, and I think it's gonna be a blast. Um, but yeah, thanks for joining me on this live stream. It was really fun to chat with you about these. I hope everybody was excited about those Epic Collection announcements the other day. Once I'm back from Comic-Con, um, we'll set a date for the next round of Epic Collections because Epic Collection announcements. We did get the list for 6 months, but Marvel being really, really busy with Comic Con right now wasn't able to get us all of the information. So we have the list, but we don't have all the contents. We don't have all the covers. So once the dust has settled from San Diego, we'll get the rest of that information and then we'll set a date. We're hoping that um, maybe the second week of August or something like that, we'll be able to do the next 4 months of Epic Collection. And let me tell you, there is some really good stuff in there, a lot of surprises. Um, and I'm sure that you'll be disappointed with some of the stuff too, some of the stuff that it isn't going to be there or not announced. A few new lines. I think I mentioned there are going to be that this 6 months they're introducing 11 new lines, and a lot of them are modern, as you can probably imagine, but some of them are also classic and they are not exactly the ones that people have been asking for a lot, but I think you'll still be happy with a bunch of them. So we'll see what happens. It's hard to keep a secret, you know. Sorry, guys, can't tell you right now. Oh yes, there is an event book in there, and Phil, will you be a happy puppy? There are a few books that I'm sure you will absolutely really love. Yes. Other than that, I the way Epic Collections are now is we've collected a lot of the 60s and 70s, so it's leaning heavily toward the other end that you aren't as keen on. So there are things in there that you will like absolutely at least once a month, if not more. So there you go. What are the odds of modern era Moon Knights in that batch? I'm not going to give out any secrets like that. I'm not going to give away anything like that. Wishing you a safe journey. Thank you very much. And an awesome time. Thanks, Logan Wayne. I appreciate it. Just watched them finally release a ROM epic just because I finally broke down and picked up the Omnibus Volume 1. Well, as they say online, you did everybody a favor by doing that, right? That's what's going to happen. Well, you'll have to wait and see. Is ROM one of the new lines that I'm hinting at? Could be, maybe, maybe not. You'll see in the second week of August. I figure Civil War for the event kickoff. Annihilation would be cool to see, but covered for everything for that one. So, will Civil War be the modern event that kicks off the event line? Also, it's not called. They're not labeling it an event line. The title of the Epic Collection is just the name of the event. So whether that's a one-off and they're never going to do any others, or if they're going to now do a string of events, yet to be seen. So, yeah. Hope you are not flying Delta. They are such a mess right now because of the that security virus or whatever, the IT problem, right? I am not flying Delta. I think it's Alaska. The event is Maximum Carnage. Yes, that's right. The fourth time in Epic Collections that we're going to see Maximum Carnage is going to be in the event. I don't know. I can tell you honestly, it's not Maximum Carnage. I can't take these teases. It's driving me crazy. Sorry, Rascal Wolf. I will stop. I'll stop teasing right now. You won't get anything more from me. In fact, I'm going to sign off, going to eat some dinner. Then I guess I need to pack. Thanks, everybody. See you in the Facebook group. And I want all of you who are watching to just hit that like button for me right now. It takes just a second. Helps me with my algorithms. Because I'm only at 3,000 subscribers. I'm not nearly at the 100K that Omar just hit. That's pretty remarkable for him. I'm very happy that he's hit that milestone. It's very cool. Anyway, thanks everybody. Have a great evening. And let me get you some music to see you out. Bye.